Hello and welcome back to the Brompton Guy. In this episode today, we are going to dismantle the internal 3-speed hub on the vintage Brompton. The reason for this was during the cycle to Paris, there was a horrendous noise coming from the internal hub and it created lots of friction which created external heat on the hub shell itself. During the ride I did have sort of ideas what this may be, but I thought when I get home, what better to do than tear it down, take all the years of grease out it and share it with you guys in case you have a similar issue. The hub itself has now been dismantled and rebuilt and the wheel is as good as new and actually performs fairly well. It's again one of these things that if you buy a used bike, you're never going to see unless you have the confidence to split it down. But enough from me now, and let's jump straight into the video on how to dismantle and rebuild a 3-speed internal Brompton hub.
He's the Brompton Guy!
Right, so I'm just prepping up, get myself some gloves on for this repair. As we all know by now, it is a pain in the butt if you ever get a puncture and need to take your rear wheel off on one of these, because it is quite tedious and quite a long job for what it is. So the first thing we need to do to get access to the rear wheel off is to remove the chain. Removing the chain isn't the worst job ever. We just look for the chain breaker. Well, we get the chain breaker tool and we look for the special link, and then we just sever the link. Go. One dirty chain from Paris. Right, well, we can get rid of the chain breaker now. Not the worst thing ever. We just pull the separation from the gears, cha-cha-ching. Then we need a 15mm spanner, wrench, socket, whatever floats your boat. Take that off. That takes our chain tension and washer off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit all the parts down here. There we go. And then we've got access to predominantly the rear wheel. Let me take my kickstand up. We then loosen the two 15mm, which actually I could probably put this on the ground for, but hey. And then we have one loose wheel. Let me see how my brakes are looking. They're not bad. And I should be able, depending how tight this is on that, because I tightened it from the frame in there, to drop it out. So it's going to be weird to put the pressure on it. There we go. And there we have one wheel and one squealing little Brompton. Essentially, friction was being built up on this and all the grease has been pooping out here. So the next part, which I don't even need because this is how messed up it was in the ride, is to get this. We've obviously got two 22mm nuts, so you need a cone spanner and a normal wrench, but I've already partially loosened them from last time, so I can probably get these up as a duo there. So let's take the initial cover off, have a look, and there you go. That was, yeah, look. Missing a ball bearing in there. Missing one bearing, I wonder where that's went, but I can only assume that bearing, which I can see in here, you see it's came out this little bit there, has went inside and is causing me that what a hurt noise. So let me just take this out. The bearing's going to fall out, so there it is there. And look at that. Hopefully you can hear it back in the video, but that one bearing is what was causing all that noise on my ride. So now I'm going to go give this a proper degrease. And as you can see, wearing gloves for this only makes sense. So let me go give this a clean up first, then we'll start the degreasing. Right, so now that we've propped that up, let me get my screwdriver in and just pop it up and over. There we go. That's everything there, fully closes, and I'm not going to lie, it's a pain to get that back on. That just lifts off. You'll have your cog, you'll have a spacer, you'll have a cog, and then no spacer behind the last one. Another thing I did give this a wipe down just to make it a little less greasy for me here. But let's go straight into stripping this down now. The first thing that you want to remove, again using the same tool here, is there's a locking ring here. See it just in there, that fits in a groove, it spins round. So what we need to do is try and get that out, spread it apart. Oh. Oh, that's it, it's gone. So that's it off there. Right, and what that will then allow us to do is remove this first section here. Absolutely full of grease there. You see we get little cogs here, so I know what you're thinking. How do we get those cogs out? Can we get them out? See them around the side there. Oh, sorry, there's a little washer there that sits on top of it. So with the same tool, we have another entry point here. So if I take that off, let's see if I can get a grip of it. These things are always just a little bit time testing. There you go, got it. Give it a squeeze. Take it round, there we go. Nice piece, and then this will allow the top part to come off. There we go. Like so, not very prudy. And then in here you can probably just see there is pins, I can see one on there, holding all those cogs in. So I would say the easiest way to get these out, I would say, is you just tap it down. See, it started to get one of them out, it started to get the other one. There's one, two, there we go, look, they've came out there. So there's one of them, two of them. Still get the last one, there we go, so that shows you it there. Pull that out, and we got the three out, so you'll see three clear holes, and what this will allow now is for your cogs to come out. There's one cog, two cog, three cog, lovely, and I cannot even describe what I mean. It is so dirty, absolutely horrendous. This has never ever been serviced before. And then what I logic do is I put all the parts to the side for that there. There we go, take all three, take the pins off the jubbly, and the next section here. So the spring here, what we now need to do here is get this undone here. Now this is fairly simple. Need an adjustable spanner. Why? Simply but surely to hold this side here, so it gives us something to oppose this. And a 17mm spanner. Here we go. There we go. I'll loosen it up. And that's it. You could do it like behind this, but there's a spring inside here, which I think you can see just there. It's going to push it up. So what I tend to do at this point is just get a 17mm socket head and just do it a little bit easier. And we have the nut. We then have a lock and sleeve for the ball bearings. Let me see, you can probably take this off next, which has your bearings inside it. And again, just a heavy build up of grease. We have spring 1, spring 2, and then, oops, sorry about that, let me square them up. And we have, voila, the other bearings. And then this bit is the kind of tricky bit, well I say tricky bit, the funny bit here, so you're almost like, oh no, I can't break it down anymore, it's stuck on, but actually, you see there's a groove here, and if you spin it around, inside it, which is quite hard to see, is a little locking pin. Now what you need, let me see if I've got anything to hand, fine pin, and that goes in the rear hole here. You make sure it's lined up at the front. We're aiming to, there we go, look at that, got it first time. So pop this pin through, put the pin down, pull this out, like so, it goes in with the, there's a flat side to it, when it goes back in, the flat side should face up. And then what that will allow us to do is to take that off. There's our full axle. And then this is the only bit, I mean there probably is a way, but I've never figured it out, is in here, but that is absolutely caked in grease. Absolutely horrendous, so bad. And that's how you take it fully apart now. Obviously, I'll do a brief video of me cleaning them, but you want to just soak these in degreaser, get everything degreased down, and then you can put fresh grease on it to rebuild it. So let's do that there. Right, so let's get the real bad bits first. Let's all that properly down, and already just again really bad. That is so built up, never ever been off, I can guarantee you that much. Really just want it all over really, right? Again, so built up, really bad. Again, it's why I like the can for this bit, because you can really, I mean, yeah, I can sit it in here, but with the can you can really get some power into these bits just to shove everything out the back, because again, we're going to be doing a full relube on this, so we don't want any residue left over from the rubbish. Right, so what I've done is just put all the components into this nice little old ice cream tub here, and I'm just going to bathe them in some degreaser for the night. That way they've been there for years, they've sat overnight and they look good. You can be as generous or as non-generous as you want to be with your degreaser on there. Obviously I'm probably going to be a little bit generous there. There's no way I'm going to get full coverage and everything, but let's have a look there. That's got, so the important stuff is that's got degreaser sitting in it. I'm not worried about the spraying, as long as all that bit's covered. The internals are fine, I can rub them down. And yeah, and we're back. So it's been a couple of days now. Everything's been cleaned, everything's looking brand new. There's actually no major wear I can see. During the take apart, we did actually lose, which I think we've seen in the other one of the bearing rings, the bearing cages here. So we lost one of these due to damage, and they are now impossible to get a hold of as a spare, so I'm going to have to rebuild it with one on it and then bearing pack the other one. So now I need to try and use my head and remember how this dismantled and grease everything up at the same time. If you remember this bit, it was so dirty, but it came up very well and nice now. So I'm just going to give all of this a little internal greasing first, and then see how we get on there. No dirty grease inside, which is good. So memory serves, this was the first piece on. Right, and then we had the little locking pin, which was on here. Go back in. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, so it's good. Right, and then we had a combination of springs, right? Spring one. Put the bearing back on, the cage, sorry, because then that's sat on there, right? And now it can go on. That's where it was last time, so just keep going till it locks. And that bearing ring sits on there. Lovely. Looks somewhat right. Let me jump the other side now. So I'm going to coat all these little teeth up. Right, and then this if I remember rightly. Oh, look at that glide in there. That's amazing. You can actually see that there, look. Very smooth operation, very smooth. Indeed. Right, and then if we look at this here, we have this, which is the two markers at the bottom. What I'll do is I'll just give this its little slippy. Right, so then we're into lock and ring 1, so let me get my lock and ring tool. Right, and it locks in on the edge, like so. Make sure it's all the way down. There it is. That's what the next part is. There's this lock ring there. There we go. There we go. So that fits in that ring and locks it all in place. Right, so first thing I will do is I am going to tighten this end here. So if we remember rightly, get a adjustable spanner on one end and your 17mm on the other. And there we go, just get a wee tight to lock that on. Right, so this is where it gets more complicated. I should probably do this bit on the bike in fairness, but here goes. So we set one on, the bigger cog. It's already got the back plate, spacer, number 3, and then we just need the lock ring, which is quite hard to do, so let me see how I can best do this just now. So I'm going to... Right, so what you want to do is you widen it up. I use a set of long nose pliers, get it round there. Get it lined up roughly. Bit of pressure, oops, there we go. Okie dokie, right, so bearings in, all clean. Need to grease up these a little bit there. Put some grease up in the overall, but that is predominantly at rebuilt. So what I'd also like to do and advise at this point is the locking ring here. Just give it a squeeze and make sure it's all right in there. So we have the completely rebuilt internal hub. As we just simply sit it on, like so. Always give it a wee test spin. That's good. And yeah, so there we go. And then what you would normally do next is you'd put your other bearing ring on and then lock it down in place. Pardon me, the wrong way. You'd lock it down in place, so obviously I need to look to source a replacement. But that would sit in there and host your bearing ring round it on there, but again I'll need to source that part because without it, you kind of got a wobble going on. And then finish it up with your cover. Like so. Right, and then 22's back on. Obviously I'm not going to tighten them up or anything properly yet because I'm still waiting for that to arrive, because obviously without it you have quite significant excess movement. So that's the rebuild there. So all I'm missing is one ring so it stops moving, and job's a good one. I hope this has helped you have the confidence to take yours apart and see how you get on. Please, if you found it useful, like the video, But if you're interested in more Brompton content, then feel free to subscribe. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Hey guys, thanks for sticking to the end of the video. You can watch any of these videos here if you want some more fun content, or if you want to support the channel, you can scan the QR code down at the bottom. Thanks for watching, see you later.